Hey guys, Raivuns here. So if you're a Fire Emblem fan and patiently waiting for Fire Emblem Engage, I sadly got bad news for you. Because the Fire Emblem Engage translation is worse than feared and censors all romance. So we got our snowflake woke tarts at it again, trying to censor everything that got any romance between a guy and a girl involved in it. And this is just ridiculous, it's getting really annoying. But before we get into the story, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel. Let's make this channel grow to be able to win the culture war. But now let's get into it. Early leaks of Fire Emblem Engage have sadly not only confirmed that censorship is real, but it was discovered that the censorship goes far deeper, as almost every instance of romance has been censored, and perhaps even surpassing the heavily exorciated Fire Emblem Fates when it comes to being unfaithful to the original Japanese version. Several diligent Twitter users proficient in Japanese provided screenshots comparing the Japanese version of the game with the English localized version, revealing that almost all implications of romance, discussions about female beauty, and any mention or implications of a character's age was removed, along with tons of other odd deviations. And we got a few examples right here. So we got the Japanese original on the right side and the English translation on the left. The original says, "I'm still a child, so I may not be ready for these sorts of things." The translation says, "We made a good team, coming up with this product together. I'm really grateful." The original says, "Even if it's too soon for us to be lovers, we can still be partners, don't you think?" The translation says, "I got a memento of our great teamwork, so why shouldn't you?" The original says, "With you I might just be the world's best traveling merchant. If we meet my family someday, let me introduce you as my significant other, okay?" And the translation says, "Nope, this partnership is our ticket to fame, fortune and finding my family." So it's clearly obvious, just based on these three shots alone already, that the English version is much different than the Japanese one. Every mention of romance or them being lovers or something is just cut and replaced by something else. Like instead of calling you lover, she calls you a teammate. And instead of calling you her significant other, she calls you a partner. Wow, seems like the West really doesn't like romance nowadays. But it goes on. This time we got the Japanese version on the left side. It says, "What a lovely smile. It's as if your inner beauty seeps through it." The translation says, "I'm in awe of what a wonderful person you've become." The Japanese says, "I'll also need to polish my inner and outer self or I won't be able to keep up." The translation says, "So much so in fact that I feel I need to start working on my own kindness just to keep up." The Japanese says, "Oh, you're already fine on the outside and you've been pretty ever since we met." And the translation says, "Don't be ridiculous, you've been amazing since the day we met." You notice it, right? The Japanese one talks about how pretty you are, and the English one just calls you amazing. She doesn't want to call you pretty, or good looking, or her lover. No, those kind of compliments are not allowed in the English one. Way too romantic. And one final one, "You're the one that I've fallen for, so you would better stay confident. I love you." That was obviously the Japanese one. I guess you could tell. And the English one, "Because if all that wasn't true, you wouldn't be so special to me." I mean, you get the point, it's clearly visible and it's just a sad thing to see that they can't just translate it properly. Instead they have to change it and cut every romance aspect and every aspect about relationships and so on. And then we even got a tweet here saying, "So because I am curious, I went and checked the Chinese translations of the game via Bilibili." Never heard of it. "Cause I haven't received the game yet, and I really shouldn't be surprised, but I am. The Chinese translations is as always close to the Japanese script." So even the Chinese version is closer to the original Japanese one than the Western version. And I think that's really weird, because China is heavily censoring pretty much everything, especially everything with nudity in it. But even they are closer to the original than the American version. So wokeness has officially more censorship than even China. With the English localization being such a vast departure from the original Japanese game, many will wonder why an English version was released at all. Sadly, this is not an uncommon occurrence in the modern day, as several games have been butchered for Western release. Omitting words that might be offensive, or instances mentioning a character's age if they're really young, removing gendered dialogue, inserting nonsensical modern day slang, and even forcibly changing dialogue in the Japanese versions. So just another example of wokeness ruining a beloved IP and annoying everyone for no reason at all. I mean, those dialogues weren't even offensive, they were just talking about romance, that's it. But even that's too much for them. This woke insanity is going too far. And if you agree, please like this video and subscribe to my channel for more. And leave your opinion in the comments down below. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So until then, take care.